Hello everyone and welcome back to Paddling Pool 210. I am Broken Pinky, joined here by Spy, and we are now in the bracket stage of the tournament. Spy, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good, and I'm really excited for this because this is the alpha bracket. You know,
this is the big boy bracket, and I mean, yeah, we're here in the big boy bracket. We are here between Zap God and 190K. Gonna be starting things off nice and strong on zones. Manta, one of the new game. What are some of your thoughts on this map, Spy?
I actually really like Manta. Though Manta Zones has its problems, I actually really like it. I don't know why, it's just kind of, the enemy plat is fun.
I mean, the enemy plat is pretty fun. I feel like it's one of the more unique map layouts in this game, you know, between the bunker and the plat and the street, but the street being widened really does make this map work a whole lot better, especially on zones and clamblets. And I know no clamblets, but you know, we'll see Manta clamblets in some other pack. Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Wait, which
we've been talking a lot about you know, feeding comps this whole time, but I feel like this is a pristine comp for as potential Tri-Slosher Nouveau should that come out. This is a pretty pristine entry map. Source, I'm an entry player, so this would be pretty cash money in my opinion.
It's pretty cash money. No, I don't know. I hope we see a Tri Nouveau. It would be really cool. I'm all up for it.
I'm all up for everything, but we are in bracket. These are the alpha, the apex of the teams in this tournament. Just trying to, you know, move on through this bracket as best as possible, because we're at the point where if you lose, you're eliminated. Going. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, especially we got this first set to kind of jumpstart the bracket between Zap God and 1.
No, I really am kind of bad at, you know, seeing in the future and telling what these teams use as a comp. Because, I don't know, it's just kind of difficult to kind of say, because there are a lot of teams who would just refer to the old splash meta, and there are people who are actually willing to try something new. But I feel like since this is just kind of more serious, that we're going to be seeing some splashes.
I mean, yeah, it's a much more diverse meta. A lot more stuff can work. A lot more stuff has been working. So I'm excited to see what goes on, especially in the later stages of this bracket. That, you know, we might not be here to commentate, but definitely be here to see. But regardless, we're starting off round one of single elim between Zap God and 190K. We see triple shooter. We see the gray Zap, which I have not seen in a while, instead of the entry. And meanwhile, we have the double bucket comp on the side of 190K with the machine and X-Blow.
Now, this is really fairly interesting, especially that gray ends up. I feel like that's just the special main weapon that we've really not seen that much, especially because ends up 89 exists and it's just a better weapon overall, in my opinion. I mean, we have seen Tetras before, and I feel like those are just really popular weapons because they have so much depth to them and they can be really strong. And I feel like that's just why this weapon is so popular.
Yeah, very strong, a lot of complexity, but also just pretty fun. You can just dodge roll around, your life has no consequences, so you can just die as much as you want. It's a very, very fun weapon, which is why we see a lot more people gravitate towards it, and it's very strong. And Zap God definitely making it work pretty handily in their favor here. Has that zone down to below 70 right now, and still pushing it. 190K all clumped up in this, you know, battlements area, trying to just make their way back into the zone, but Zap God not having any of it, still holding them back. But Zap God doesn't really have a whole lot of specials they can use to really control this area, other than their crab, which they don't really have at the ready right now. The Baja's going to be using that reslider, get a 1-for-1 with the machine. Expo's going to take him out, but now 190K starting to move onto their plat and starting to get some control here.
Yeah, and Zap God also doesn't really have that number advantage right now. I mean, there was just one person going down, but they respawn up until now. And just like that, 190K actually has a good chance of getting the cap here. especially because, you know, Zap God doesn't really have any specials up their ally.
Oh my god.
Something is lagging here. Something is going terribly wrong
What
right now.
the? Okay,
We have
there's a disconnect. What are the disconnect? Okay.
Okay.
The disconnect
I don't
rules
think we have
are
to answer
nope.
that.
Yeah, we gotta run it back all the way from the. Oh.
We just got the message. We're having some illegal
Ooh.
stuff going on right here.
Yeah, we're having some lawbreakers. I guess, you know, I don't know. Okay, hold on. I think it was Zap God that had the DC, and I think it was 190k that ended the battle.
What?
I could be wrong.
Wait, who's Hyun? They ended the battle.
Or the end of the match. I think. I could be wrong. I'm
No.
probably wrong. Oh, okay. So Zap God had the DC in the end of the match. Okay.
Okay, that
Please
is
not.
illegal.
That is. So is it the team that ends it that gets the loss? These are confusing times. These are disconnecting times. That's the one thing that's really gone up in prevalence in the meta is the amount of DCs we have in tournaments.
I mean, it's always fun to see someone disconnect, even though it's not really fun in any case, because it's kind of sad to see that this online system is still not well aged, and we've literally been into this game for like 7 months. Shame on you, Nintendo.
Oh my god. It's this I mean I don't really know what to say, but this is just how Splatoon tourneys are, and this is how they're gonna be until they probably don't fix the netcode in June. Because that's the next time we're getting an update.
I hope they're just gonna add online when there's Splatoon online. I hope they just give us a good online system when Splatoon 4 comes out.
Yeah, alright. Looks like are we replaying Zones Manta? Alright, gentleman's agreement. Seth's going back from the top, back on Zones Manta. Just ignore the last, I don't know, 10 minutes of stuff you saw on your screen.
Our streamer has to ready up.
Alright, now we are getting back into it. For real this time, between Zap God and 190k. These comps should be exactly the same as what we just saw, and I mean, yeah, same old from both of these teams. I think something we didn't really comment on was the shot with the object shredder we see from Spar on the side of 190k, which, you know, isn't amazing, but it does help deal with what little, you know, resemblance of crab meta is still left, because Trizuka can just break that crab in one shot and kill the rider. So very solid nonetheless, but Zap God still gonna try and get a lot of value with their crab, and they get the kill on the V shot as I say it.
Yeah, they were just like, you are not going to shred me. They did not want to let that happen. And just like that, 190k, like, it's really neutral right now. No one really has a big advantage, especially because the numbers are pretty even. And just like that, 190k actually got the cap. Like, not the cap, they just got the zone, okay? I'm trying to get a little bit excited more, okay?
we're trying to get back into these things, but you know, we're back in the thick of it. 190k actually has a pretty solid numbers advantage right now. They're gonna have control of the zone right now. Zap God, not doing so hot right now. Kind of, the Tetris being forced into a corner and actually just gonna get taken out by the combined efforts of the you know, buckets on the side of 190k. And this Expo is probably gonna just get this zone right back for them. And 190k has a good amount of control right now in the first minute. Zap God kind of floundering. They don't have a whole lot of amazing but here come those tri-strikes to try and clear the way, but counter tri-strikes are going to be coming out as well, so rough situation for Zap God right here.
Yeah, certainly. I feel like they just really want to get the zone cap right now, but we see that Trizuka shot that actually shreds the crab and the player. So now Zap God has a really big number disadvantage as there's only the Splash-O-Matic left, and they're just really in the corner right now as they're jumping out of this hell. And just like that, 190k has such a big, area of effect as they really have the entire control right now.
Yeah, but
just
Zap God trying to move back.
Wants to push in.
Yeah, Zap God trying to move back in. They get the penalty and they get the cap onto 190k, and Zap God now has control of this zone. But they have to, be smart about how they want to hold this. Go in, gets the trade in the machine, gets 2 for 1 actually, gets the Axe Flow as well. And all of a sudden, 190k went from dominating this map to now they're 3 down, have a big penalty against them, and it's Zap God that has to control. Shoes on the other foot, Heon on the Zap, presumably close to getting some Soda online, and once they do, Zap God's aggression is only going to be stronger, so this is kind of precarious for 190k right now.
Yeah, especially, it's just really going back and forth right now. Both teams have some really good points, off the counter. I mean, Zap God is already up to 31 right now, and we see just 190k just desperately trying them not to get the lead, as we see 23 on the side of Zap God. Again, 20, okay, now they actually got the lead, just like that 190k wants to push in again, especially because the only one that's left on the side of Zap God is the Zap 85. And they're just desperately trying to get a pick or something, and just like that the Tetras are jumping in, but that they get cancelled out. And with this, 190k has a lot of control of the map, and they have the control of Zap God's plat, which is fairly useful.
Yeah, 190k has a whole lot of control back in their favor right now. Zap God doesn't have a whole lot of time to play with, including the penalty. They probably have around 15 seconds until the lead goes back in the favor of 190k. These Tetras trying to get some control with the Reef Slider, and is actually going to help Zap God get the cap, gets another penalty stacked against 190k, and Zap God back into some mid control here, but not quite enough to say they have this on sure. Tetris gets the machine from the bunker side though, and Zap God is kind of behind 190k, and they're trying to turn it into an advantage here as we enter the final minute of this game 1.
Right now, 190k just seems to be kind of spacing out the other opponents if they're just kind of doing a mistake or running off their own. And we see that beautiful Trizuka kill by Aspara on the side of 190k. And just like that, 190k gets the recap, and they're working down their penalty because, there's only 5 points for 190k to kind of work off. And with that, they could actually win this right now. And we see Baja just being totally outspaced right now, but actually getting a pick and going in with the Reslider, getting to neutralize the zone. And with that, Zap God actually gets a recap.
Yeah, Zap God able to get that retake there in the final 15 seconds of this match. Very far away from getting this cap, and it's going to be so hard for them to get it. They have no time right now, and they have to get 2 full zones in their favor. We do see one trying to go behind. One zone is capped. They're going for the other, but they're not able to take it. And Zap God, even in spite of the disconnection and the miscombobulation, are able to take that game 1.
They actually popped off. No, seriously. I really didn't think that an NZAP 85 would really be that useful, because I feel like it's just more of a support weapon, but I feel like it's just not doing that much. Especially because I feel like it's just kind of outclassed by Tri Nouveau.
Yeah, but they are called Zap God, so they have to have a God Zap. It's the law of the land. As much as I wish it was, because N-Tri is literally better than Zap 85 in almost every way. But, regardless, Zap God definitely made it work in favor there in that game 1, and now we're going to be going to game 2 on its own Hagglefish. Now that Zap God is up 1-0. Spy has some thoughts on this map that we're seeing once again.
I really like this map, and I feel like it's just kind of hard to get off the right plat because I feel like it's just kind of too small, and the enemies can push in really easily, especially if it's like a carbon that's just sharking at the edge. Then you're really in a rough situation, and I feel like once someone gets control of your bunker, I feel like that's really not a good situation. And we got another connection loss.
Oh, okay.
That's good to know. They just want to change shows, so that's what's happening right now.
You know what?
It's funny.
If it makes them happy, then they can change host all they want.
They just want to avoid the disconnect.
I mean, you know what? Me too, bro.
Yeah. I think everyone wants to avoid disconnect.
Alright, looks like we're waiting for this room to get back up. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. That's just the Splatoon 3 Classic, baby. It's Splatoon 3 for the Nintendo Switch. What else? What else could it be?
Best multiplayer game 2022.
Yeah, but we're in 2023 right now, so,
Okay. Wait, is this the best of 3 or best of 5?
I'm pretty sure it's a best of 3. We only got 3 maps to play.
Yeah.
So, Zap God, 1 game away from moving on to round 2 of the bracket. And it seems like most of the sets in this bracket are probably pretty close to being done. Yeah, the winner of the set is going to be fighting BNTB, who just took a nice 2-0 win over Acid Lime. So, definitely an interesting bracket to come.
I'm certain that this set is going to be fairly interesting because, you know, the weapons are fairly interesting as well. I mean, I actually like it when people play Explo. I don't know why. It just seems kind of fun. And I feel like playing NZAP is also really interesting because it's a weapon that we almost never see. I mean, I really never see NZAP, neither in comp nor in solo queue or something.
Yeah, we definitely got some interesting stuff going on here. So it'll be interesting to see this gameplay once we get back into it, however long it's going to take.
You should just hurry up. Nerf crab.
Nerf crab. I don't think that many people have that stance anymore. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like using crab. I really feel how much it's gotten since launch, because it's shorter and there's so much more lag. And, you can't laser people as well.
Well, you still can.
It feels a lot worse.
Yeah, but like I still find it very annoying to fight. You know, like honestly, what weapons do you think will be added in the next season? Like which weapon kits? Like H3D or I don't know, Platana, Stamper, Nubo or something?
Yeah, we kind of need an H3D. VH3 is... It's funny how, like, we've been talking so much about how good Entry is, and then H3 and Snipe Rider are also attack weapons that are bottom 2 in the game. But we're not talking about bad weapons, we're talking about good gameplay. We're going right into the thick of it here. Game 2 between Zap God and 190K. It's going to be on Zone's Undertow here. We didn't really get a chance to talk about this map much, but this is match point here and now for Zap God. If they can get this win, and there's going to be an like squash route trying to dictate the pace of this game.
We see another amazing NZAP on the side of Zap God, which is, of course, likely that it was really obvious that they were going to play this again, especially after that sweet victory over 190K in the last match. And 190K is actually starting off really aggressively with some really strong special usage. You saw the Tri-Strike, and just like that, Zap God actually counters with another Tri-Strike. But up until now, 190K does seem to have some good control here.
Yeah, 190K has, you know, a bit of a lead right now, and they're actually going to extend it even more with the numbers advantage they have right now. Trying to, you know, keep Zap God out right now, but Undertow is a very awkward map to just hold because of how, you know, divided it is in the mid and in the zones. So whoever can conquer that awkwardness is gonna be able to win. And so far, Zap God does have control of both zones right now, but not really pushing up. They're just trying to defend the zone area themselves, allowing 190K to push a little bit forward, but force them to make some mistakes.
Yeah, like Zap God actually has some. I mean, they have the numbers advantage right now, which is fairly interesting because there's only a machine left on the side of 190K. It really just has to kind of jump out now or try to protect itself. As we see, the splashes is kind of pushing it, but it actually gets cancelled out by the machine, or it was maybe the other splash-o-matic on the side of 190K. But 190K actually wants to just get down their penalty, and we see that T-Deck actually pushing the other splash, and with that, Zap God has a numbers advantage.
Yeah, but right now Zap God has such an advantage right now. They got that nice wipeout versus 190K. They have control of the zone right now, almost through that penalty of theirs. And once they do, then they'll start to get a really big chunk into extending their lead. Unfortunately, if Zap God goes any further, they're going to start 190K LD. If they can knock out fast enough, that might not even matter. That penalty has been lifted. Zap God starting to get some points again. At 53, Machine is holding this Booyah Bomb. Throw it onto the snipe area. Zap God, though, doesn't have a whole lot of players left alive. 190K in and gets the zone.
Yeah, that was really a strong push, especially after I thought that the machine on the side of Zap God actually just tried to stall, or they really wanted to prevent 190K from getting the cap. But just like that, 190K actually got it really quickly, and with that they're actually pushing Zap God into the oblivion, and as we see, the rain actually got someone out right now, and the X was just kind of staring in mid, and the splatter shot is just doing all the work of getting the kills and just really focusing on that, and with that, 190K got the lead.
Yeah, and now 190K has, all the control, and they've painted up so much of this map blue that Zap God doesn't really have a whole lot of space to get back in. Tri-Strikes are going to come out, Booyah Bombs are going to come out on both sides, but 190K still has a very strong control here. Zap God trying to move forward because they know that they don't have a whole time left to play with. The machine is actually going to get a kill over by the right side, and that's Zap God get back in for sure. It's just the two sloshers left alive for 190K, but there's it's still a pretty big contestment in mid for that zone, and even now doesn't have a whole lot of players left standing.
Certainly. I mean, Zap God has a really big number disadvantage. I'm sorry. And 190K just kind of wants to prevent them from capping the zone by using the Tri-Strike. And there's so much painted in blue right now that Zap God really has no choice but to just start painting and maybe use specials out of, I don't know, panic maybe? Especially because there's only 1 minute left right now. They have to move quick.
Yeah, they're really running out of time right now. Zap God, doesn't have a whole lot to play with. 50 seconds left until this game is donezo, and Zap God probably not going to get the lead back in that time unless they really establish a strong control. But here we go. Both zones in their favor. This Expo fighting for their life. Squid bagging, but that's going to be 2 players going down on the side of 190K. Zap God has control of the zone, but it's 2. Just the machine left alive for Zap God. Throws that Booyah, trying to get some, trying to, deny a bit of area, but the machine on the side of 190K able to hold it down. We're gonna go into overtime here almost assuredly, as, both these teams are just fighting tooth and nail. Zap God definitely wants to get this lead and win the set 2-0.
They really do. And I feel like they just really need to get a lot of value out of their specials right now. Because as we see, 190K actually tries to get in with the special right now. They just have to paint the zone and keep it painted so they work down their penalty. But the machine goes down. There are 2 people down on the side of Zap God. Right now, there goes the Booyah Bomb on the left zone. And we see that was it.
190K.
They interrupted me.
Able to stave off the game just long enough. And 190K takes that game too. And we're going to be going over to a game 3 winner-take-all tiebreaker here to determine who moves on and who gets eliminated in the last match of round 1.
I gotta check which map that is. Ooh, Sturgeon. Wasn't that like the first map that we've commentated?
Yeah,
today.
and I guess we're gonna be ending it off where it started in that case.
Thanks for
At least
that.
for the two of us, because this is gonna be our last game to talk about.
Sturgeon Shipyard is really an interesting case, and I feel like since the only really backline is the Explo, I feel like that's going to be really strong, especially because it's a weapon that paints a lot.
Yeah, Expo is definitely a strong backline, and it can paint just massive portions of the zone, but on a map like Sturgeon, where the zone is much larger than these split zone maps, we might not see Expo having as much of a presence, especially compared to, you know, zones Undertow. But here we go, we are finally getting into game 3 of round 1 of the main bracket in this tiebreaker. Let's see these comps. Expo, Slosher, Neosplash, V-Shot here to stay, and it looks like Zap God going to be running their comp all the way back. Here we go into game 3.
I feel like the Explo just wants to really take advantage of the spinner, as we see that it's just really a good point of getting a lot of range. And the Explo actually doesn't use the spinner, they just kind of use the grades to kind of just navigate and maybe get some picks. And 190k just kind of stays in their base for now, because we see the machine getting a really good drop shot pick, which is really funny, and like that Zap God has an early advantage.
Yeah, Zap God has a massive advantage right now. They are so deep into 190k's court, and they have a pretty severe numbers advantage as well, and they're just trying to hold off 190k because Zap God knows how crucial these holds are, but 190k trying to fight back. Spara gets the pick on the Tetris, has the Zuka at the ready. Machine is going to go down. Tri-Strike's going to try and delay the inevitable. 190k is still moving through the middle of this map authoritatively. It's just the Zap in the zone. Zap goes down, and that's going to be 190k taking the right now. They don't have a, an established numbers advantage right now. As tries to pick off the Tetris, is able to get the assist with the Explosion, but Zap God still alive and well in this team fight. Is going to be a decisive one for sure.
I totally agree. And we just see that the Explo just wants to consider using their rain, especially since it's painting so well. It just kind of tries to focus on painting the entire map by themselves. They just don't really pay attention to what's happening around them. They just want to paint. I feel like that's what an Explo does. And 190k has a good numbers advantage, but one person actually goes down to that wonderful fizzy bomb by the machine, and with that 190k got their penalty down, but they're still fighting hard to get that lead in the end, especially because Zap God is not going down without a fight.
And 190k very close to getting this lead themselves, and this is a big one because I mean it's just important to get every advantage you can. Takimi trying to push in with this machine here, but that Booyah Bomb is definitely going to get shredded by those Tri-Strikes. Booyah Bomb isn't going to get a kill there, and right now it's 3 versus 3. Both teams are in the zone fighting desperately, but it's going to go in favor of 190k. Get the lead here, and this lead is instrumental with 190k. They could very well lead to the knockout, but Zap God able to get that defense, able to get that cap, and able to get 2 picks there.
The machine really trying to get some space, but is utterly going down with this. And Zap God actually has some really good control right now. They're pushing into the enemy space, but they're still trying to keep their cool by not forcing themselves to go into the base. And we just see like they just want to keep this space right now that they have and utilize it to their advantage, so they're not going down. As we see, the Tetras are going in. I feel like that's just what they need to do, and they actually go down by that Explo.
Yeah, but 190k crucially able to get that zone back in their favor, but not before Zap God gets the lead right back. 23 to 29. Zap God has the lead right now, but it's fleeting. It's now 2 versus 2 left alive on both these teams. It's just the Explo left for 190k. Zap God has the zone once again. 3 dead on the side of 190k. All of them are coming from spawn right now, and Zap God trying to set up that hold. Machine on that snipe area, trying to rain down some fizzies and some justice here. Zap God really just placing themselves behind, trying to force 190 to approach them and make the mistake first, but Zap God knows that they can't get, too risky with it. They're through that penalty right now, 20 points away from the knockout right now, and all those specials are coming out, all the tri-strikes, all the Zookas, the Booyahs, and that's going to be the zone cap for 190k.
Yeah, 190k is really preparing a large push, as we saw, they just utilized all their specials, and with that they got the recap, and right now they just have to focus on not letting Zap God take back that control they have. Right now we see that the entire map is already painted blue, and Zap God is really just being kind of panicked right now. As we see, the penalty is down, and right now it seems like 190k will actually get the lead. There are tri-strikes flying into the zone, but 190k actually got the lead. There are 27 seconds left. We got a wipeout. The only Splash-O-Matic is left.
That's gonna do it. 190k had one member left in the lobby. Survived, and it was this splash from 190k that ensured the knockout after that bloodbath. 190k gets the comeback, takes out Zap God 2-1, and moves on in the bracket.
The Neo Splash is the only one who didn't get nuked.
Yeah, everyone all died in that one, one ball pit of bodies right there. It was just one Neo Splash left alive, and I mean, it was the one member that 190k needed to get that match win. Very, very good step between Zap God and 190k, even in spite of all the delays, but 190k, well-earned victory to them as they take out Zap God and move on to round 2. But that being said, that is going to be the end of the block for us. It's been a great time, but before we head off, I gotta ask Spy, where can the wonderful folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at DrSpyLOL. I don't play League of Legends, okay? I just thought it was funny. And I just basically talk about Splatoon stuff or just random stuff that comes to my mind. I don't know, I'm just kind of chaotic on there. And Pinky, where can people find you?
You guys can find me at Twitter on Twitter at BrokenPinky_, where I similarly talk about Splatoon, talk about some random stuff, maybe talk about some Smash every now and then, but with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to give a warm up upcoming commentators. With that being said, make sure not to go anywhere. This tournament is just getting started. The best is yet to come. So stay tuned, take care, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.
Goodbye.